All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is another episode of Happy Hour. I'm Sharpe Dunaway, and today we're with Ryan Harmon and Perry Morris, and we're talking music.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening, Perry Morris.
Good evening,
Thank
Sharpe
you for joining
Dunaway.
us. This is
Good evening, Ryan Harmon.
Good evening, Perry Morris.
Good evening, Ryan Harmon.
Good evening, Sharpe Dunaway.
Who do we miss?
Well, now that we've done have we fully given each other the HJs here at this point?
Yeah,
there we go.
What song is that? I love testing his knowledge.
Little House? No, wait. The Waltons.
It was the Waltons.
The Waltons.
Yep. I don't think. One of the reasons why I invited Ryan Harmon here is because he's just 25, right?
Yes.
Okay, I'm 26. And I'm a little older than you. And I think Perry's like 17.
Yeah.
But his knowledge of music is insane. I mean, just you can have a conversation with him, and he can not only tell you who the bass player for the Little River Band was, but I'm kidding.
I couldn't do that yet.
That was just an example.
You're pulling an Eric on me.
Yeah, I don't think anybody knows who the
Blake
bass
brought
player
me in once when Big Rock was still on.
Right.
He brought me in with the intention of having a Ryan knows so much about rock segment.
Uh-huh.
And then after we were off the air, Eric comes in and just destroys me. First question, he rolled up his sleeves because he knew he had a good question. So he goes, okay, Lenny Kravitz debut album, B-side, track 2, European release. Who produced it?
Oh my God.
I was like,
that sounds about right.
Yeah, I'm done. I'm out.
I thought he'd be like, what Norwegian melodic rock band released ABBA's SOS in 1994?
Hey, some of our friends can do that. Like, what tuning was used in the album? Crazy shit, which is impressive. It's good.
Well, today's show, the topic is music. That's why I wanted you guys in here. I wanted Ryan. I know Ryan could represent rock really well, but he's representing the countryside.
And now I'm eager to hear why I'm here.
I'm going to get to that.
It's music. Okay?
I'm going to get to that.
Because I own like 8 guitars and I know 3 chords.
I represent the rock side, and you represent that middle void. That's right there in the middle.
I consider myself to be an enabler of live music with my friends. Well, because you're the guy that admittedly likes WHAM. Yeah.
And is proudly puts a WHAM. We'll put a WHAM sticker on the back of your truck if you could find it. So I'm going to ask you the first question of the day. Why?
Why? Now I know why I got invited. Okay.
It's a lynching. It's a lynching.
If I had any braids, they'd be moving. I was like, well, first of all, I don't know who the fuck you are. Now,
it's got to be
second.
It's got to be Milli Vanilli braids.
Well, maybe. I got that on cassette too somewhere. Okay?
So did they. Their cassette broke though.
Their ass, and by their ass, I mean the guys that actually sang. They got a Grammy out of that. Okay, that was some good stuff. That was that whole album was a pop masterpiece. Now let me back up to this first question, air quote question.
Oh, and I'd like to say
why.
too, if you have a question for me, feel free to throw it back at me.
It's Make It Big. The album, yes. I mean the jokes just write themselves.
Make it big with a pregnant pause.
Yeah, make it big. Pause. Excuse me, just
WHAM.
Wham! Pow! Sorry.
Wham! Make it big.
I made him do a Danny Thomas. How many minutes are we into this thing? And we've already made him do a Danny Thomas.
Been a great show. Thanks for coming, everybody.
We'll be right back after these important messages.
And the letter of the day
brought to you by Heaven and Hell Gin, because expensive gin just tastes like vodka. Now, I still haven't answered it. It's a pop masterpiece. It's awesome. And played at the right time, in the right situations, in the right Camaro, it could get you laid.
Or over and over and over again at TC's when we realized there are 8 different versions of the song, Faith, that we had never heard before when Perry's trying to pick up somebody.
Well,
right?
Hey, now, and George Michael's Faith album, even the staunchest, metal AF, guys and gals, when pressed, most of them own George Michael's Faith or owned it on cassette or CD. It's the most solid pop album of its time.
Now, were you a fan? Were you a fan of WHAM in high school?
Yeah.
Were you openly a fan?
Fairly. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I wasn't like a closet Wham fan. If that's
we're not going to dwell on this. I don't want you to think we're just pick on Perry
even
time.
like I had it all. Let me tell you a story. We'll wind it back. And now it's time for story time with Uncle Perry. That's right. Yeah. Let's wind it back. What we're going to do right now is go back, way back into time. Christmas 1987. I had my 1976 Camaro in the garage.
No handles.
No handles. We'll talk about that later. No door handles. Very busily installing the 30-watt per channel Radio Shack EQ booster that I had just gotten that Christmas Eve. Okay, it was Christmas Eve night. I didn't waste any time. We exchanged presents between each other on Christmas Eve, and then Christmas morning was sort of the Santa Claus air quote thing. I was in the garage Christmas Eve putting this EQ booster in because Dad had gotten me the EQ booster. My mom had given me the cassette of the very recently released Faith by George Michael. I'd already owned the cassette single of I Want Your Sex because, come on. Have you guys met me?
Okay, I even know it.
And I didn't have the connectors and stuff, but there was some shit in the garage, and I soldered some stuff because I had to have it working, right? And because I had to try this out. I had to put the new cassette in and see what it sounded like with the EQ booster, right? I declared success because I cranked up I Want Your Sex in the garage in this car stereo. I knew things were going to be perfect when Dad leaned into the garage, to the door from the house, and said, hey, yeah, you need to turn that down.
Well, see, that should have been the title of the song, okay. I Want Your Sex in the Garage.
Yes, that's the remix. That's the... That's featuring 2 Chainz. No, wait, no.
So was that the song that your parents initially said, that's too dirty for our house?
They never, I don't think I ever played it in the house. It was always in the car,
Because I remember when the Dirty Deeds record came out, and I was playing Big Balls.
Oh, and they weren't down with that?
Oh, my gosh. Yeah. My mom said, where'd you get that? I said, I mowed a lawn, and I bought it at the record store on Euclid. You just march yourself right over there, and you take it back, because I will not have Big Balls being sung in my house.
Air quote, mowed the lawn. Is that what the kids called it?
Playing Frisbee, mowing the lawn, whatever. Yeah. Okay, and Ryan Harmon. Let's just pretend like...
Where are we going?
I want to talk about WHAM some more. Why are we pulling back?
Well, and see...
Hang on.
You brought up a point.
We pulled out. Now we're going to put back in on the WHAM. So now we're putting it back in because Perry wants to...
Make it big.
Wants to make it big.
I have no shame being a fan of WHAM, and especially George Michael's solo work. Right? Faith was an amazing album.
Okay. But see, you pointed out something. I thought that Faith was WHAM.
WHAM's last official release was Music from the Edge of Heaven. Yeah,
don't play WHAM trivia with Perry.
And they sort of had like the hot side and the cool side, kind of like the McDLT back then, which you never experienced, but it kept the hot side hot and the cool side cool.
In styrofoam.
In styrofoam. In ozone damaging styrofoam. It was amazing. So
we're paying for that now.
But yeah, no, Faith was George Michael's solo debut. Yeah. Yeah, and it was the shit.
We're gonna get into Prince too in a second.
Oh yeah, we will. I actually did a little bit of show prep, maybe, and by show prep I mean it was kind of running through it in my head while I was hosing down.
That's a little bit more than I did.
Well, there you go.
I have 25 years of radio. The only time I ever did show prep was in the mornings. That's why I hate morning radio. every bit of magic I ever did, no pun intended, was prepless. I just sort of walked in the studio, let the callers call in, and played off of the listeners. And I think
it's organic. It just happens. It doesn't feel forced.
Well, and just
unlike
like
some of my dates in high school when I was playing that way.
Well, and just like any good colonoscopy, the prep is the worst part.
Hey-oh. We'll be right back.
Was that light off the whole time? This is a professional operation. Don't try this.
Bring the good cop in here so I can get a cigarette. What? Anyway, just kidding.
Ryan Harmon.
Them's just jokes.
Okay, you are on. You're on American Idol. Let's just go ahead and say this: you're on American Idol, and one of the questions.
Not anymore. I hate to tell you that if you haven't watched the season yet.
Oh,
I didn't make it.
Spoiler alert: the boat sinks and Celine Dion starts singing.
You did make it. You made it to Happy Hour with Sharpe Dunaway.
I haven't seen it yet.
Oh well.
Now wait just a damn minute. What? Oh, that movie? Oh, see, there you go. Okay, yeah.
So you have to admit on national television, an artist that you like WHAM, that it's not going to be favorable with the cool kids.
Like a guilty pleasure?
What's your guilty pleasure? I'll tell you my guilty pleasure.
Well, and
after you tell yours, I'll tell you mine.
See, for me, it's not so much like a certain artist, like an entire catalog. There are some where, like, you know, I can crank some B-52 stuff, but not necessarily everything.
Right.
You know, Love Shack, I'll dance to that anytime it comes
I got
on.
a monster in
Sober.
my pants, and it does a dirty dance. Sorry, that's off a Fred
Wham,
Schneider
make
solo
it big.
record, actually. Go ahead.
Well, yeah. I mean,
But I don't necessarily have, like, well, I say that. I'm just probably not aware. I think that's kind of what we're going for tonight is, are we aware that we should be feeling a little guilty about something? Or that some
name an
or that
artist.
other people perceive it.
No, I'm asking you to name an artist that if somebody said, if you said, I like this artist and I don't care what you think, what is it?
I had a Barry Manilow phase for a while.
I can respect that.
But see, the thing is that's not really a shameful thing, because he's a great songwriter.
What's your favorite song by Barry?
Her name was Lola.
oh,
Yeah, he went for the easy one. What's the
First song I'm going to play as soon as we get through this COVID stuff. Looks like we made it.
do you know
Oh,
do you know what
damn.
my favorite
Yeah.
Barry Manilow song is? I'm stuck on Band-Aid brand because Band-Aid stuck on me. Did you know that was a Barry Manilow
no,
song?
not until just now. Hey, whatever gets you paid.
You know what else he did? We'll be
whatever
hopping.
gets you laid.
The Philadelphia way. We'll be stopping.
I know he wrote that.
Bandstand.
Bandstand. Now, I have a question. I'd wondered about that. Did he actually write the song, or did he write the lyrics into an existing tune?
That actually gives me my real answer now that you mentioned it.
Now you're hurting my head.
Because I had heard the story that Barry Manilow wrote the lyrics like later, like he didn't write the actual melody. Like he wrote lyrics, like retrofitted lyrics into the tune.
I think he also wrote My Baloney as a first name.
Did he?
As a first name.
Whatever
It's
gets you
OSC.
paid, whatever
Yeah.
gets you laid.
Yeah.
Well, those are guaranteed to get airtime.
Well,
But that reminded me of my real answer, speaking of jingle writers, Michael Bolton.
Yep.
oh,
That is my
yeah.
real answer.
And he used to rock out. Michael Bolton, yeah.
I don't care what anybody says. People wanted to make fun of him. That guy has one of the best voices in music history. And again, great songwriter. This is where probably Sharpe's going to gang up on both of us here, I have a feeling.
Bruce Kulick played for.
Oh, yeah, Blackjack.
Yeah, yeah.
Here's the only thing I find a little bit strange, and I want to, on a brand new podcast that has yet to be announced publicly, I would like to interview Michael Bolton sometime, because he has denied auditioning for Black Sabbath after Ronnie James Dio left. Tony Iommi has said even in his book, yeah, we auditioned Michael Bolton. It just didn't work out. And Michael has said, oh, no, you're getting that confused. I had a band called Blackjack. I think that's what people are thinking about. I never auditioned for Sabbath. It's like, there can't be, it's not like, what day did you audition? It's one guy saying, no, it didn't happen, and the other guy saying, yeah, it absolutely did.
I think I believe Iommi.
Absolutely.
Because
Tony.
I believe Iommi is not going to lie.
No.
Iommi's going to, yes, Michael Bolton auditioned for Black Sabbath, and I like Wham.
Well, but see, that was before Michael Bolton was Michael Bolton.
My two lies of the day. No.
But think about it. Coming right after Dio, who had that amazing range, it just took the band to a whole nother level musically. Michael Bolton would have been a great fit. Now, they did get Glenn Hughes. Well, no, it's Tony Martin, then Glenn Hughes, which Tony Martin was great. Glenn Hughes was great, too. Unfortunately, kind of his alcoholism at the time kind of ruined some of that. But
That's
You weren't
horrible.
even born when he was having an alcohol problem. How do you know all this?
Google.
.com.
Hey, Lincoln was before my time, but I read a book.
All right, ready? I've had this fight on Facebook. This is a totally new subject here.
Okay.
I've had this fight on Facebook, and this is the can of worms that I like to open up periodically. All right?
Periodically?
Periodically. All right, here we go. You ready? I am not of the belief that Elvis Presley is the king of rock and roll.
I agree.
I believe Chuck Berry is the king of rock and roll, and here's my stance, then I will let you debate. Okay, and if anybody wants to debate that's watching, here's my debate.
I believe they can
First of all,
phone in.
They can phone in a little bit, but I'm not going to do that just yet.
Oh,
Give us
just
a
yet.
phoner.
Just yet. But here's my reason why I believe Elvis Presley should not be the king of rock and roll. Ooh, let me stir it up now.
No, I'm interested to hear.
First of all, I believe that Chuck Berry or Little Richard would be if it wasn't for the color of their skin
Oh, you're absolutely
at that
right.
time.
I think that's fair.
And I believe that there were African American artists that were rocking way harder than Elvis ever did.
Well,
back in the day.
you know why they call them covers?
That's true. That's true. But the question is, I want somebody to say, hey, this is the real. Now, first of all, Elvis also dabbled in gospel. He dabbled in country music.
What's wrong with that?
That's a whole other show. No,
Not
I'm
a
kidding,
damn
Ryan. I'm
thing.
kidding, Ryan. But he dabbled in country, dabbled in gospel. It didn't stay just rock. You listen to a Chuck Berry album, it was rock. You listen to a Little Richard album, I don't think he did. And
He did. Now, later in his life,
Little
he
Richard?
totally
Who we talking
rejected Little Richard.
Okay.
Totally rejected all of his catalog and just totally went to the gospel side. I don't know if he became a gospel recording artist as much as he was just a follower of God. But he totally would say, nope, not going to talk about Tutti Frutti. Not going to talk about...
Tutti Frutti, Good Golly, Miss Molly.
Yeah, Good Golly, Miss Molly. Keep on knocking, but you can't come in. Woo!
All right, so who's the king of rock? If you say it's Elvis, then go ahead.
That's a big damn question.
I respect your answer if you say it's Elvis.
I think Elvis Presley, was he talented? Absolutely.
Totally.
Was he a songwriter? Best I remember, no. Right?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
It's a good question.
But he clearly he took a genre and some energy that was created by previous artists, and let's face it, he capitalized on it. And now, one of my favorite worn out lines is, "It's not always about steak; it's about sizzle."
Right.
Right.
He had
And so Elvis brought the
He had
sizzle.
the sizzle for sure.
He worked it. Okay. And so, was he incredibly successful? Yes. Was he very talented on stage? Yes,
Oh, yeah.
absolutely. I have a slightly controversial attitude about Elvis Presley that I'll bring up in a minute.
Okay.
But I honestly think he was taking something that had been developed by prior artists that may not have been able to be successful based in the era on the color of their skin. And plus, in the music industry, best I could tell, that's the whole reason the term cover was invented, unfortunately, is you had a lot of artists of color doing a lot of amazing work that didn't get outside that culture. And then you had people that didn't happen to be black doing things.
Well,
doing
Little
that
Richard
exact
did-
same tune.
And
And
Little Richard did Tutti Frutti, or was it Good Golly Miss Molly? But then Pat Boone had to make it a hit.
Right.
well, you know, I don't mean to go completely off in left field here, but
Please
you
do.
can even, if you're paying attention, you can see some of that still happening, even in like this my recently rediscovered favorite show, Hee Haw, right? Where you have a lot of people on there doing some covers of songs that were, and as much as I love Hee Haw, you know, you can tell they've turned the soul knob down and they've sort of whitewashed it a little bit,
Oh, yeah.
and it's a little more, you know, as they openly make fun of the Lawrence Welk show on Hee Haw,
Oh, yeah.
if you're paying attention. But even Hee Haw was doing some of this. Culturally, you could see that happening. So I'm not going to go so far as to say that Elvis Presley wasn't or isn't the king of rock.
He is by popular demand,
Yeah.
but individually you could have your own different
But I
opinion.
think it's healthy to discuss this and healthy to be objective about it.
See, I say if Elvis Presley's the king of rock, Michael Jackson's the king of pop, Aretha Franklin's the queen of soul, James Brown is the godfather of funk. Is that right?
Well,
Or
he's Godfather of Soul.
Godfather of soul.
Yeah, but he was funky. I mean, come on.
Right.
I mean, duh. But yeah.
Then you have Michael McDonald, who I believe is captain of the yacht rock.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because
Without a doubt.
if you listen to the yacht rock channel,
He's at the top of the
he's on like
triangle.
every song.
Oh, yeah.
in the holy trinity of yacht rock. You've got Michael McDonald, you got Christopher Cross, and you have
Kenny Loggins.
Kenny Loggins. There you go. So,
And Michael McDonald's on every song, and you know, they're
almost every song. The Elvis point. There's one sidebar. Elvis fans. I didn't get it. I did not understand until Prince died. I totally get it now, and I completely apologize for not getting it. Thank you. There you go. And on that note, I'm going to get some more wine.
Well, let's segue into Prince now.
Well, no, I've got
go
a
ahead.
point on that.
Yep.
So, and Perry summed up the whole thing about, Elvis would do songs that had already been recorded by black artists. You ever seen the movie Cadillac Records?
Yeah.
You have to watch that.
It's
Great
an
movie.
amazing movie.
And it kind of builds on, you'll see why I say this. it's not that Chuck Berry isn't the king of rock. I think I understand that and I accept that. That's a great answer. I think Muddy Waters is the king of rock. Here's why I say that. He is the guy who made it all happen. Without Muddy Waters, Chuck Berry does not get introduced to Leonard Chess, does not get the opportunity for a national recording deal.
So it's not just about the sound being developed; it's about events happening
exactly
that led to that.
And
like if we'd had a time machine and gone and disrupted that, we wouldn't have what we have today. Is what you're saying,
right? Which is why this could totally not be a valid response. But Chuck's style was based in the style of...
No need for that kind of pressure, dude. It's fine. You're good. Go with it.
Yeah. Peer pressure.
We're just
Muddy's style of electric blues
have some wine.
Was what... you don't want me to do that. I don't want me to do that. I don't know what happens if that happens. I've never seen it. But the style of electric blues that Muddy Waters had really pioneered was what rock and roll, especially early rock and roll, came from. Mm-hmm. So without that, and Muddy even said, at times, which they kind of mirror that in the movie as well, rock and roll is just the blues sped up. That's all it is.
Right.
And there's some truth to that. Now, Chuck had a lot of country influence, too. There were people who labeled him as a country and western artist when he first started because there wasn't a term rock and roll. Some people say Alan Freed kind of invented that. I think that's probably about as accurate as we can get. So I can accept Chuck Berry as an answer, but for me, it's kind of like Muddy Waters never got credit for anything.
Right. No, I agree.
Without him, so much stuff would not have happened. He practically built Chess Records.
I'm a mannish boy.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's great stuff.
Oh, yeah. Love Muddy Waters. All day long.
Billy Hey.
Hey, child. Yeah. I used to play hoochie coochie, man. And here's fun. So when I was first starting out performing, there was this Christian coffee house in Russellville. And I never registered with me. They were very nice. They never brought up anything about it. I just happened to realize a few years later I was playing hoochie coochie, man, in a Christian coffee house.
Oh. Went back to Hee Haw real quick. Did you ever see the
like hoochie coochie? They just Anyway,
without hoochie coochie,
now had I played Chattahoochee, would that have been?
I'm claiming Jesus, and I'm in a hoochie coochie. I mean, come on. Anyway.
Was it an episode of Hee Haw, or was it the Lawrence Welk show where they had two of these people?
One toke over the line. That was Lawrence Welk.
Was it Lawrence Welk?
Yeah. I have this fantasy in my preferred alternate universe. The Starland vocal band would have played on Hee Haw and done Afternoon Delight. That's couldn't you see them on that set with the straw bales and shit?
I could.
And the guys playing with their shit not plugged in.
Oh my God.
I mean, yeah. Anyway.
Hey Buck, what do you reckon that delight is that they're talking about there?
Well, it's got to be a donut.
I've got my ideas.
Glazed with jelly.
And I think it's a...
Yeah. Well, Buck, you need to get the hell out the house a little more often.
You got to make me spit.
We can't say hell, Roy.
That's why I'm here.
I can't sneak a big drink of my beer without you guys.
You thought I was here to get roasted about my wham.
That was just a mild roast.
I know.
It's more of a...
It's all in the name of comedy.
It's more of a searing,
You
Perry.
drink your uppity 6%, whatever it is.
You drink your card Bordeaux.
It's $20 a box.
Night
It's
Hawk.
amazing.
Night Hawk. Like Night Train, except it's a hawk.
All aboard the night train.
All right. Prince. We talked about him earlier. One of the things that I remember when I was on the radio was Perry was adamant. Why doesn't rock radio play Prince? And we said, well, what are we supposed to play? Alphabet Street? That's a pop song.
No.
And no, I know. But then he kind of said, what about Let's Go Crazy?
Oh yeah.
And he said, that's a rock song. And one of the things I remember, somebody asked Eric Clapton, what's it like being the best guitar player in the world? And Eric Clapton said, I don't know. You'll have to ask Prince.
I'm not sure if it's true, but there's some words written down that back this up, that Prince was asked similar questions during his life, and he referred to Billy Gibbons. And
that was Hendrix.
Well, Prince did it too. Okay. Prince was apparently Billy Gibbons is like the king of tone, and like everyone goes to Billy Gibbons and like,
I agree.
Dear Billy, please let me learn more about your tone. That there's Billy Gibbons related some meeting, some sort of ad hoc thing, like they were in the same town at the same time, and one of Prince's minions or something came to Billy Gibbons and asked, hey, would you like to get together with Prince? He wants to talk, to meet you and talk with you. And they talked about tone, and I can't reference sources right now. I can later. But,
I've heard about that.
But it's interesting. Yeah. Where were we going with this? I've had too much wine.
Well, Prince is one of the times. Prince was one of those artists, with all due respect, unlike Wham,
Right.
Where I was closet. I liked Prince in high school, but I was a rocker guy, and I couldn't let anybody in high school know that I liked Prince, because all the girls liked Prince, and while you still wanted to do what the girls liked, you were also trying to stay cool and not get your butt kicked at high school in St. Louis public schools. So here I am thinking, oh yeah, I'm an Iron Maiden guy. Me, somebody put in some Grim Reaper anytime, and I'm when
Well, Let's Go Crazy just rocks the fuck out.
Right.
I mean, and now we may have the gift of hindsight on that, and the gift of us not being in high school anymore.
Well, you get older and you just stop giving a shit.
True.
What anybody
Thank
thinks,
goodness.
and you just I could care less. I mean, back to my secret pleasure, Carpenters. I mean,
Understandable.
I think Karen Carpenter had one of the greatest voices in the history of music, and she was a drummer. I mean, she was fantastic. Yeah,
because I've never been a huge Carpenters fan.
I mean,
It's just too watery. It was just like, what are we?
there's a couple of songs that'll make me speed, and one of them is Sammy Hagar's "I Can't Drive 55," which is a no-brainer, and the other one is "Top of the World" by the Carpenters,
Which I had the pleasure of watching you guys play live at Toad Suck Days one year.
and you know how
And
everybody
my
else.
mouth was agape because I'm like, WTF. I'm like,
Yeah,
What year would that
I'm
have
like,
been?
okay.
that was when we opened for Bret Michaels.
Yeah.
No kidding.
Now,
How did I not pick? I just must not have known that song.
here's the, and they did a wonderful job. Okay, but I was
It was a
still
punk version.
I was still a
You
little.
must
it
have
was
done
about
wonderful. I
double.
didn't
It was
notice it.
about double time.
Triple. I was playing. It was triple time.
He said it. I did not. But I won't go so far as to say they redeemed themselves. But what was beautiful about that same show was, of course, it's Toad Suck Days, and they're right by the train tracks. And
I
and
remember
the train
this.
starts coming in.
I have a recording of this somewhere.
And Sharpe, you saw Danny turn around and do the cue, and Sharpe, and they did the eyes, and they came into Blackfoot train, and I was like, yes.
Well, and it was like the middle of the first verse
Yeah.
of the train, so
Yeah.
you can hear. So you hear Danny go, "Train,
Yeah.
train,
Yeah.
take me on that ride."
I mean, it was brilliance, right? I mean, that you guys already had that prepped, and you were going to call the audible.
Well,
if
that
the
wasn't
train
prep.
came
That
through.
was totally off the cuff.
I'm gonna try to find that
Yes,
recording somewhere
yes, it was.
it's a really bad cell phone recording,
Yes.
but I have that somewhere.
Do you?
I recorded every show I went to, I would hold my phone up in the air and try to record.
Was
three
that
songs
the
or
year I
something.
had your camera and I was trying to record that, or was that a different year?
I don't remember.
Neither do I.
I'm old.
As am I.
I don't remember. What were we talking about?
We're going to have to pass the torch off to you and tell these stories
with my Diet Coke?
orally
You know what we could do?
from
We could take
around the
we could
campfire.
take a musical interlude right now, because Ryan Harmon brought his guitar. And we could take-
would you look at that?
Yeah.
Who brought that?
Do
in?
you remember on Hee Haw, they always did this thing where they would come out of the jokes, and then either Roy or Buck would introduce a musical artist, but they would do this scene where they'd cut to him, and it's like they'd be looking at the person doing the joke, and then they'd say, "And now, here's Dwight Yoakam," and then they'd turn to the other one, but they do this. They do this seriously, like, "Here's Ryan Harmon," and they look that way, like that's where he's playing. It's like this. It's perfect, and they always do it from one side to the other. So yeah,
And especially when the girl with the short blonde hair,
Kathy,
they would always
Kathy Baker.
they would always catch her mid flip.
Yeah, Kathy Baker.
So you never got her staring over here. It was
The
always when she was always
Miss-
her hair was already
Miss
flipping
Hee
over.
Haw, Kathy Baker. They had all these fine ass women on Hee Haw, and I would never dispute that. But Kathy Baker, I mean, she just melts my heart, and she's up and kicking. She's an artist now, like doing artwork, and she's still adorable. I watched some things on it's on Amazon. It's like like they do this country reunion on RFD TV.
Oh, yeah, Country's
and it
Family
was all-
Reunion. I
Country's
love
Family,
that.
but they did this 4-episode thing about Hee Haw. Have you seen that yet?
I've seen some of it.
Okay, because it's on Amazon and it's included with Prime. And I'm now giving a free ad for Amazon, and I feel a little dirty about that.
Because they need the money.
Because
One of my favorite moments
Jeff
on that.
Bezos' spacefaring ass is like $3 trillion, or something. It was like, just throw me a used rocket engine, Jeff.
I got a divorce to pay for.
I mean, come on.
Make
Yeah.
them money.
Yeah.
Can you get that in 2 days?
Huh?
Probably. Yeah.
Grab your guitar, Ryan. Grab
Yeah.
your guitar.
Oh, well,
And now,
I don't-
yeah.
Why don't you strum us a song there, my boy?
Here's Ryan Harmon.
Ryan Harmon on the guitar. I'm gonna.
Oh,
This is the fancy stuff we got to do here.
Bet Roy didn't have to move his own mic stand. Huh? One of my favorite moments on that family reunion was when it was Buck Trent and Roy Clark playing doing the picking and grinning.
Yep.
And Roy just looks over at him. Of course, Roy was really, this was like not that long ago, like maybe, 5-6 years ago, something like that. So, Roy has aged quite a bit, can still play really well. I miss him. I wish he was still around.
Mm-hmm.
He'd be a great one to interview.
Yeah.
But
They handed him a fiddle, and honestly, that first episode, I didn't think he was able to do much, but they handed him a fiddle, and he picked that up, and he started knocking it out.
Oh, he was a great multi-instrumentalist.
Aim that mic at your hole.
I didn't know it was that kind of party.
There we go.
But they started off, and Roy just slowly turns to Buck, and he goes, "Okay, now you will play the part of Buck."
I searched the world over and thought I'd found true love. Had another, and you were gone.
You met another.
There you go. Get in the microphone.
The best one is what's that guy's name? He sang it in Spanish. Oh man,
Oh, which one was that? Johnny Rodriguez.
Johnny Rodriguez. Thank you. Yeah, he sang the whole song in Spanish.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which that was pretty adventurous for back when that happened,
By the way,
When
for
you
those
think
of you
about it.
wondering, we will be accepting telephone calls if you would like to call in and add to this. Also, if we've pissed you off with anything we've said, we'll take your phone calls for that as well.
And be sure to ask me about my premium snaps.
Please. Play us something, anything. What you want to play? Promote your record. Promote the record.
Oh, the one I'm working on now. We
What
can
do you
do
want
that.
to promote?
Oh Lord, we could. Against my better judgment, can I play a brand new song I haven't played for anybody?
Please.
Okay.
Sounds metal. You going drop D?
Do the Zach Wilde version.
I love that song.
Anyway.
I'm not gonna try to sing live without warming up, or I would have.
Oh, I didn't warm up. That's my
Yeah, but
excuse
you're
for
an
why it
actual.
sounds so bad.
You're a musician. That's the difference.
I can't tell if that's in tune or not.
It's good. You're good to go.
Okay. This is a brand new song I have not played for anybody yet, aside from my parents. So we will see how it goes. This is the pecking order. It's played for the parents, then played for Sharpe and Perry.
Nice. And the world.
I'm
and
a little.
world.
And the world.
I'm a little
So
verklempt.
Let me see. Make sure I can remember the words first, because it's really new. Then again, if I mess up the words, who's going to know?
Just roll with it, man.
Okay. So this is now it's a little bit different. It's got a little of a Fleetwood Mac influence kind of thing to it, and probably nobody's going to hear.
I heard
that.
a little
They're just gonna
change in
say,
what that
"It
chord was
sucks."
gonna
Say, yeah, plucking through that. I could get that now that you mention it.
But it's somewhat about my American Idol audition.
Oh.
Remember, I was telling you I was trying to figure out a way to incorporate some of that. Mm-hmm. So let's see
Y'all don't know what the hell you're talking about. I'm the shit, and y'all should just get out. Whatever.
that rhymed.
Yeah, I
I'm
know.
proud of you.
I did. That's my upcoming album.
And I actually ripped
I wrote
off
it about radio, though.
I ripped off a Perry Morris line here too. See if you can figure out what it is. You're not getting co-writing credit on it though.
That's okay.
You won't get your .00012 cents.
That's okay.
Okay. It's a song called Encore. Thought they had me figured out when I walked in. Fake skin boots and a cowboy grin. In some big city I've never been before. They like my swagger and the way I talk, but it ain't an image I've got. Songs some said I'd never make it here. I proved them wrong, and there's a whole lot more where I came from. Call it a 10-year overnight sensation. From empty bars to TV stations, getting here was no vacation, but it was worth it all. 'Cause I'm still standing and I ain't gonna fall. It's an encore, not a curtain call. Get knocked down, but that's the way it goes. I went from not a chance to optimistic no's. I stood in my own way and made it even harder. I've circled the pond, now I'm jumping in the water like a 10-year overnight sensation. From empty bars to TV stations, getting here was no vacation, but it was worth it all. There's too many words in the song, I'm running out of breath. I'm still standing and I ain't gonna fall. It's an encore, not a curtain call. I forgot the words. Talk just to hear themselves talk, but what do they really know? They root against you every step you take, but at least they're still watching the show. And I've still got a long way to go, calling a 10-year overnight sensation. From empty bars to TV stations, just getting here was no vacation, but it was worth it all. Maybe nights when I almost hit the wall, but I still remember those who were in it for the long haul. 'Cause I'm still standing and I ain't gonna fall. 'Cause it's an encore, not a curtain call. Hee-haw claps. Thank you.
Bring the microphones back up there, too. That was well done, right?
Thank you. That's hard to sing.
Let's make the audience stop, too.
What camera are we on? Luke Bryan, do you have more breath than I do? Record that one, please.
He's totally watching this right now.
That'd be nice.
He fucking should be. I mean, whoops. I mean, did I say that?
What?
Oh, sorry.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Hey, London, can I get another beer?
No. It may be the wine, Ryan, but you mentioned there was a something there that you may have heard from me or something, and I didn't quite pick it out because I'm a wino.
You've only said it a couple of times when you were introducing me at TC's 10-year overnight sensation.
Oh well, and I've said that. I actually said that.
I said that, but I was drunk when I said that.
No. Well, you're not
I
wrong.
didn't mean that.
No, you're not wrong.
You're like a brother to me.
But it's you're not. What I was going to say is I don't claim ownership of the 10-year overnight sensation thing. I mean, I think that's sort of a in this line of work. You know, I don't own that as mine. But which
you
is
did
why
say
I didn't
it.
see it. But I did. Yes, you're right. Because
don't take it back now.
No, I'm not gonna.
It's on my website
because it's
right under "Trust Yourself to Go to Nashville." Lionel Richie.
Because now, come on now. I'm like, am I right below Lionel Richie? We're going to leave that right there. But I wanted, when I talked about that, when I would introduce you on stage, I wanted the audience to hear that phrase because people don't get it. People don't get how hard people work, how hard the artists work. And then somehow, hopefully, magically, boom, here's this artist, and this artist is amazing. And people go, well, where have you been all my life? He was like, well, I've been busting my ass 10 years to get to this moment to make it appear like I just pulled into town and have become an instant sensation, So it's important, So
wow.
So there you go.
Wow. You stick around. You stick around before the end of the night. Perry's going to do one of his awesome toasts.
Yeah,
he does one of his awesome toasts.
Yep.
And you sometimes
how many pounds of this is left?
Sometimes you have to be in a limousine somewhere driving in Mississippi for him to do it, or driving back from Mississippi. That's a ZZ Top song, isn't it?
Yeah.
But
basically,
his toasts are amazing. So later on, before
we'll
the show's over,
we'll close one. We'll close it out.
We'll close with
We'll close it out.
All right. So this was Ryan's idea, and I'm totally stealing it. But Ryan had the idea that we should discuss popular bands or artists and their worst efforts. Be it
Thank God.
albums,
I thought you were going to steal my idea for the toaster basket for almonds.
You have to refresh my memory about that because I was.
Maybe I haven't told you about it. I
can't steal your idea if you don't tell me about it, Ryan.
I once had this theory that, it's so difficult to have to take the time when you want freshly toasted almonds for your ice cream. If you don't have a toaster oven, you certainly don't want to take the time to heat up the oven and put them in there. Microwave, that's going to make them soggy. Sorry, Panasonic. So I thought, what if there was a basket? Wrong. What if there was a basket to put in your toaster where you could put things like almonds and pecans to freshly toast them?
Dude.
It was going great until I realized that it was a metal basket. Now, one of these was never made, but yeah.
All right.
Well, the interesting thing about, everybody talks about sticking forks in toasters and stuff is the actual resistance wire that generates the heat. It's not like bare metal on the outside. Now, I'm not saying people should stick conductive things into toasters, but I'm just saying there's a layer of risk, that isn't really there, in some of it. But
so we're talking
you could have made it out of some sort of non-conductive material.
But as a startup, you have to realize if I can't get it on the shelf, if it's just at the end of the aisle, how much money can I make really?
Well, the end caps are like prime space, dude.
Sometimes they are, but it's usually people who know what they're doing with end caps. It's just like Time Life.
It's fair.
Everybody knows that CD set's not worth $300, but they can still sell enough because they know how to sell that particular product.
True.
Now, if they'd like to include any new material on, I can be your Where Are They Now guy that introduces one of the box sets.
Right on.
The best of American Idol rejects. Music starts playing in the background.
That's a brilliant record idea. That you need to do that.
I can look over and
I keep trying to work in some salacious comment about Katy Perry's ass, and I just haven't managed to make it flow yet.
There's a rumor that he's the father of her baby.
I did not start that rumor.
I just did.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Unfortunately, they have confirmed it was Orlando Bloom. What? Come on. What does Orlando Bloom have that I do not have? We've had about the same amount of airtime in the last year.
Ow!
You're not wrong.
Man.
I think it was just physical proximity. Yeah.
Well, they're supposed to be 6 feet apart.
Well,
yeah. Unless
that's like how many 6 feet? That's like how many books of Mormon and Bibles is all that to get, that like they talk about prom, where you guys have got to be apart, you can fit the Bibles and all this shit. Yeah.
Now, are we talking full size or are we talking Gideons?
No, full size.
The free Gideons?
Full size, yeah. The Gideons wouldn't be anything. I mean, I could get past the Gideons Bible, easy. That's like that Little House on the Prairie type shit you hear the stories about where they would have back in the day when someone would come to visit to court someone, in the family for marriage and things. And, it wasn't just a day trip, like you're talking out in the plains. It wasn't like visit for a day and then leave the same day. You're going to have to spend the night somewhere. And
can we just point out Perry can explain anything, and it's fascinating.
I think it's funny that I asked your worst effort from this band, and we ended up in the Gideon's Bible.
And that's the way this works. In my defense, Sharpe told me it was BYOB.
Yeah.
Okay. And so here I am, and I'm drinking wine.
This is why they
Bring
don't
your
let
own
you drink
book.
on the air.
and I'm going to finish this damn sidebar because it's interesting. Okay. I did. He did it again. Almost.
You're going to end up with beer.
Almost.
At the end of the night.
Well, a boy likes to be asked. Anyway. As I was saying, people were they had like their heads stuck in the sand like ostriches with this whole setup where, the courter would come in and, and court the young lady for marriage, out in the plains in the middle of nowhere. And of course he'd have to spend the night. It's like, and so, well, of course he'd spend the night in the same bed with this gal, but we can't do any of that premarital, anything. So they basically put a 2x6 down the center of the bed because that's going to keep people from fucking. Yeah. I've had just enough wine to say that my favorite position, the 2x6, is not in the way at all. Okay. Let me just say it.
All right. Hello to all the new viewers.
We'll be right back after these important messages.
I'm so glad to be with you today. I have the feeling that you like me.
Is there somebody I can call about that? Like an FCC or somebody?
Oh, I love that.
I know. Who can I call about what the fuck you play on the goddamn fucking air? Who is it then?
You like the way I talk,
Man, that brings back old
Cocaine memories.
the way I look,
I hate you.
and you know that I like you too.
Is this Sharpe?
Yes.
I'm gonna whoop your ass. I love you, man.
Sharpe Dunaway, afternoon.
On a radio station that doesn't exist anymore, sadly.
I asked you. We don't have those anymore. You actually put an order in for like the big giant head to do bumpers for me when I was on the air, ever so briefly.
Joe Kelly.
Yeah, ever so briefly on Magic. I wish we still
You had some.
those. Well, yeah. Where the fuck are they?
They existed.
It's funny.
Well,
Anyway,
okay, so let's just go
let's
ahead
get
and
back on subject.
let's just
I'm
do
sorry.
Let's do this real quick. I'm going to go ahead and open the phone line, see if anybody wants to call in.
Do we know how many viewers we have right now?
I can tell you, 15,000 viewers.
Hey!
Mine goes in thousands. So
it's good.
here's the deal. If you would like to call into the show, which camera am I on over here? Okay, I'm on that camera right there. If you'd like to call into the show, please do. Please help. 501-514-46. No.
Don't try.
Oh, stop. It's this one right here.
Oh, damn.
If you would like to call and be on the show, please do. 501-514-4646.
Now from the Crane Kia Traffic Center, roadways look pretty clear right now. Only accident at 430 southbound.
What we gonna do right now is get down.
All right. So 501-514-4646 if you would like to call in.
Just one time, I want to hear somebody who's like got a Barry White voice over that kind of music doing the traffic. I'll let you start first.
Okay, so back to the question. Great artist,
Well,
crap album,
We're
crap
gonna
song.
transition back from frontier screwing over
Get us
a
back on the rail.
2x6
Get us back on the rail.
back to
This
the
segment brought
actual
to you by the 2x6.
subject. at
Fairly
hand.
ineffective.
Yes, fairly ineffective to prevent conception.
All right, Ryan, you're first.
Bad album from a favorite band.
Bad or song, crap effort from great band.
Do we want to start with the easy ones, or let's start with the easy ones that we can probably
Butch
discuss.
Renfro just chimed in with
Hey.
The Elder from
I was
Kiss.
going to say
mean,
either the
that's-
Elder. Yeah, we can start with the
We
Elder.
can all agree with that.
Definitely.
I don't know, World Without Heroes, though.
World Without
that's-
Heroes is a great
okay,
song.
Fine.
There are good songs, but overall, and their defense is, it wasn't a Kiss album. It was a soundtrack that Kiss did the music for. So
So
it's
the
not
concept,
the same.
yeah, music from the Elder, right?
A movie
I
that
get it.
never happened.
But it's still crap.
Okay.
It's
Except
awful.
for that song that you mentioned, "A War Without Heroes," which even Gene and the guys put that on the box set, right? And if you read the notes of that box set, they are Gene is the most apologetic I have ever heard him be. You know, at least in the written word, he's like, well, you know, it wasn't like our best work. You know, I was like, this is Gene saying this. I mean, I'm surprised they didn't just like forget about it.
Right.
You know?
But please go buy it anyway. This was not our best work, but we have the remastered edition available now at kissonline.com.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah.
All right, ready? Ryan Harmon interviewing Gene Simmons.
Oh God, here we go.
Hey, Gene, Ryan Harmon here. Man, I just wanted to know, I was on American Idol the other day, and I don't know, did you catch it? Did you catch me on TV?
Nobody cares.
Well, I care. What do you mean?
People are listening to me. They tuned in to hear me.
What do you mean? I'm Ryan Harmon. What do you mean?
Are you trying to imitate the whistle in my voice? You asshole.
He was Gene Simmons playing Ryan Harmon. Somewhere this got off track.
I really should have drank more water before I showed up. That's all I'm saying. I'm trying to keep up here.
You combine me, then you take Gene Simmons, and eventually you end up with Morgan Freeman. And everything was going well at the audition until he sang the song. It was at that moment
For those
that
of you
Ryan
just
realized he would never play on television again.
Oh my gosh. This show's awesome.
They told him to go to Nashville. And then God said, no, Nashville is closed.
Oh, damn. Damn it.
Nobody wants to hear your music.
Damn it.
Anymore.
That's not true, Ryan.
Lionel Richie, in that moment, was just thinking, what's for dinner?
That's profound,
Get
but it
this
is not true.
hillbilly out of the room.
Right.
guys.
Right. You have a fan. Her name is Gail Kitchens. She says, I'm here for you, Ryan.
Gail, yes. She tunes in every single week when I do a show. So, yes, and I figured she would enjoy this tonight. Thanks for tuning in, Gail.
Yeah, we'll get Ryan to play another song for you since he ripped you all off of his live feed tonight. He canceled that for us.
Yeah, well, I figured this would be a nice change of scenery for everybody.
Well, this way you get to hear him talk more.
Yes.
Jim West is watching.
Oh,
He says,
I
"Yo."
talk plenty.
How did you?
Luke Williams says, Prince talk. I got here just in time.
Yep. Which we're going to talk about that as soon as he gets back around to asking me that same question, about favorite artists.
Yeah.
Not so favorite.
Have you answered it all yet? Or did you dodge the bullet?
It was at that moment he realized he had not answered the question.
Okay.
Somehow, there was still room to save the program.
And Luke, if you're listening, you'd like to call and chime in, you know my number, or maybe you don't.
So, I mean, we all are in, dare I say, violent agreement about music from the Elder, maybe not being Kiss's best work.
I would argue two good tracks.
Yeah.
So we have World Without Heroes. I would say The Oath is a good track. Did you ever see the music video for which they pulled it offline immediately? So there was a music video made for I, and it was on the set of like a German television show. And they had to change their logo in Germany too.
Right.
The two
right.
S's.
It looks too much like the SS. Right.
Somebody had the master tape to that video, which was never released, not even on the Kissology sets. And that tells you how much the band did not want it out there, that they didn't put it out with that. There wasn't anything from the Elder on Kissology. Nothing. That's, there you go, for what that's worth. Go pick that up at Walmart and see. Check me on that. And I almost went to Morgan Freeman again. But really, on the Elder, there are two good tracks. The rest is rubbish. So I'm just entertaining myself, basically. But when you look at that video, if you can find it on YouTube, it was actually a guy named Julian Gill, I think his name is, from Kiss FAQ. That's the frequently asked questions website. It's been around forever, the Kiss forum. And he ended up selling it to a Kiss podcast. Don't know how much he sold it for. He paid a lot for it from what I heard. And they ended up premiering it on their channel. People were downloading it left and right, including myself. I have it somewhere. This video was cringeworthy. And the song, as bad as it is, I believe in me. The verses are good.
The inevitable cease and desist from
they
Gene.
just had it pulled. Yeah. And that's the thing is, I don't know what the process is if somebody buys something like that from somebody. Can the band just come in and take it? I know they did that with their costumes once at one of the conventions in the 90s because they were about to do the reunion tour, so they went back and took their old costumes that somebody had purchased.
It depends on what your legal budget is, as best I can tell, is how threatening you can be,
Or maybe Gene just really does not want to have anything from the Elder in his collection.
Right.
He did those vaults, Gene Simmons vaults, $2,000 you can buy a vault of Gene Simmons stuff, and he would put one exclusive piece of memorabilia that nobody else had in
Probably
each
a
set.
CD of Kiss the Elder.
Yeah, that's probably, nobody bought this record. I put it in there.
Here you go.
It's in the vault. Lock the vault when you're done.
Pay me my money.
All right, Perry.
I will. Okay. Go ahead.
Oh.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Answer the question. Were you still on Kiss, or were you going with another artist?
Oh, I'm going with another artist.
All right, go ahead.
I think we've covered this ground thoroughly with Kiss.
That's the most the Elder has been talked about in decades.
Ever.
Yes.
You're welcome.
Maybe ever.
Somewhere they're getting a royalty check.
Yeah.
Where the fuck did this
Yeah.
come from?
Yep.
What? No, but
No.
somehow we said Gene will be looking for something because we said the Elder too much. It said
I'm
his name
sure.
too much.
I'm sure
Visit
Facebook.
kissonline.com to pay your royalties.
Yeah, Facebook will do some kind of keyword search and it'll wake Gene up in the middle of the night or something. What?
And I want to throw
There's
a
more
disclaimer
money to
out
be
there.
made. What?
I'm well aware I'm not funny, nor do I do good impressions,
Good Lord.
but it just helps to keep the show flowing. Because then you're ready whenever Perry and Sharpe come around. You're like, thank God, here they are again.
The two best impressions I've heard in a long time are from you two guys. You doing him and him doing Gene. I mean, come on.
You know my
let's just
best
face it.
impersonation though is.
Hi, I'm Sweet Connie.
Oh God.
And oh,
My favorite thing is
I'm hungry. Somebody get me a roadie to go.
it depends. It depends on how much I've been drinking. I can't tell if you're doing Sweet Connie or CC DeVille because they're very
Affleck.
similar. Yeah. The director, well, and it's not. Yeah. That's if you drew a Venn diagram, there's a lot of area there that's covered by all three of those.
All right, back to you, Perry.
For me, I think Prince's Graffiti Bridge.
Oh wow, he went with the guy.
Yeah, is among my least favorites in his body of work, and there's I'm a huge fan of Prince. Everybody knows that. I mean, we're like fuck, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whatever. But I am not a. I am a critical fan. You know, much even with the same way with Kiss. I mean, I think it's healthy. I mean, it's healthy to be aware of things that aren't their best work.
Right.
Well, and that's what I told Sharpe when I mentioned this to him is it requires everybody to admit that their favorite band can do wrong.
Right. We're all human. And I think just blind screaming fandom is not healthy, you know. And we could extrapolate that, you know, just into life in general, but especially when you're talking about your favorite artist.
Right.
You know, it's not healthy to just keep your blinders on. It's Graffiti Bridge the movie is best enjoyed probably when you come into it in the frame of mind is it's a series of music videos that might have enough plot and dialogue to glue them together into a feature-length film. Okay, because as a movie, it really falls flat.
Right.
The soundtrack album that accompanies Graffiti Bridge, it has a couple of bright spots. I mean, it's got Thieves in the Temple, which is the one that released and maybe charted a little bit, you know, and then the rest of it's just kind of like a big shrug for me, you know. Which is kind of disappointing because, you know, you've got Morris Day and the Time doing some fun stuff in the movie, but it's just I don't know, you know, Thieves in the Temple maybe, you know.
Well, I'm going to go with mine real quick. Mine is Van Halen, and the obvious answer is Van Halen 3.
Oh, I didn't think you were going that route.
Oh yeah, I've got to go that route. And the funny thing about it is that I was a huge Extreme fan, loved Extreme. Pornography, you know, every song on that record, a great record. And I thought we might actually have that moment where, you know, when Sammy Hagar replaced Dave, I thought, oh, this might be interesting. No, it was not interesting. There was a couple of good songs on there. Fire in the Hole, good song. But outside of that, I never owned the record. It's the only Van Halen record I never bought.
That's interesting because as much as I guess I'll just say it. I've had enough wine. I don't enjoy Graffiti Bridge, the movie. I have it on disc at home.
But you stole it?
No, I bought it fair and square. Just for the sake of completeness, if nothing else, right?
Right.
But I own.
You got to
it.
go to completion.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Oh, by the way, Angela's
not,
got the number
what's
on the
the point?
screen here. She's got the number on the screen. That's awesome, Angela.
oh, she's got the crawler.
Yeah, she's got a little crawler on the screen. It says...
Can you add to that crawler that I'm single?
Oh, yeah. Well, we can do a whole show about that if you'd like.
Make it one of those
there's no need
video
for that.
dating things.
Periothon. It's a
Then I'd have
periothon.
to pay you or some shit. I mean,
No, I'll do it for free.
Anyway,
I thought the single was good though. Without You, it wasn't as a Van Halen song, not great.
Well, Eddie was writing all the songs.
Exactly. And I heard it's funny you mentioned Van Halen 3 because I was listening to now I'm drawing a blank. Gary Sharon.
it's the
doing
diet.
an interview
it's,
with
it's the Diet Coke.
Yeah, well, I forgot. Yeah, it is the diet. It's full flavor. I'm gonna need a ride. I was listening to Gary Sharon talking with Eddie Trunk, and they were talking about Van Halen 3, and Gary said, had we done a tour and then put out music, I think it would have been a little better received. The fact that we put out new music and then went on a tour, I think just kind of killed the whole thing because people just really didn't know what to do with it to begin with. I think if they would have had a little more time to be familiar with us, and because the tour did pretty well. They were still doing arenas. And if you go watch some of the bootlegs on YouTube, Gary just absolutely killed the Sam and Dave songs. Mm-hmm. Just great. And you would think he's kind of that hybrid vocally. He's got some of the Roth elements, and he could probably rip off Hagar if he wanted to. He could probably do the best Sammy Hagar impression on the planet. Not to say that he does, because you can tell the difference. That's one thing that they got right. You can tell the difference when you're listening to any song from the Van Halen catalog. You can tell who it is singing. They didn't try to go for copycats. But that being said, Gary Sharon kind of had the best of both worlds.
Hey-o.
Wait a minute. I can do better. Oh.
Polka
There it
works
is.
too.
There it is. Do it again. Do it again. Do it again.
Gary Sharon had the best of both worlds. Hey, what a crowd. What a crowd. Hey, what a crowd.
Remember, folks,
Whoa,
the 7
let me tell
o'clock show is entirely different from the 10 o'clock show. This had me thinking about, at least in my twisted brain, a parallel, John Corabi.
Yes.
And I honestly I wasn't terribly familiar with his work, and I'm almost embarrassed to say this, until I heard he was showing up at TC's to play that show.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh shit, I got to catch up. And I was like, well, hell, this is good stuff. And because he did all of that up there.
He was in a band called The Scream.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It was fucking,
Yeah.
He's an amazing artist. And let's just say it was a great night, and John Corabi's a hell of a guy, and he was just the coolest dude, and he hung out and he was telling stories and he was doing this stuff. It was fucking amazing. So, yeah.
I agree.
Well, and he was also in a band with Bruce Kulick for Kiss Connection called Union.
Right.
And that was after Crew, and then after the Kiss reunion tour when they were both kind of out of work and wondering what to do. But yeah, that's another thing. Had they called it something other than Motley Crue, which that argument you could talk about it till you're blue in the face.
I'm not going
They're
there.
not going
Yeah.
to abandon their brand.
You don't abandon the brand, right?
Focus on the franchise.
Exactly. You've told me that a million times.
Because I told him that a million
Yes,
times.
that's a Perry line he gave me.
That's right.
All right, Ryan, I got to get you to do something for me. Pick up your guitar one more time because Gail Kitchens is getting antsy.
Oh, what, can I guess what she's requesting?
Oh, go ahead.
It's either Find Your Heart or Do It All Again.
No, that song you sang on American Idol.
This will give me a chance.
Yeah, we do have to. Yeah.
This will give me a chance to check the bumper on the back of the crew cab.
Yeah, it'd be fine. It'd be a perfect chance for you to do that.
Yep.
You're not going to listen to this?
I am. Listen,
I can't
Ryan,
get you
Ryan, Ryan, you know I love you and I love
Because-
your music. Right?
I think she expected you to be on a music show, but it's a talk show with a little bit of music here. It's like, but that's okay, Gail. I'm gonna take care of you.
We're talking about music.
We're gonna take care of you, Gail. We're gonna take care of you. Here's
Gail's awesome.
I kind of knew this would happen, and she'd get all antsy and stuff. But
you know, I'm actually writing the sequel to this song right now.
She's screaming. Yeah. See, that done happened.
The sequel to this song. It's called. You know, I gotta tell you, didn't see it coming.
Well, you know, there's a Tom Petty song called "Don't Do Me Like That." Should be followed up with "Do Me Like This." If you're gonna say "Don't do me like that," you better have "Do Me Like This."
Well, Joan Jett kind of had that with "Do You Want to Touch Me There?"
Right.
That was kind of the just get right down to it.
Mike's yours, man.
I'm still out of tune. All right, there we go.
Yeah, and aim it
Just
towards
a
the
little
hole.
closer.
Aim it towards the hole. There you go. Oh.
Okay. Here we go. This is the song that made me all the quarters. Here we sit, all alone, without a single word to say. There was a time when that's how we'd wanna be, slowing dancing while the music plays. And I saw that look there in your eyes, like there's something on your mind. Well, darling, won't you tell me, what could it be? The words must be too hard to find. Well, everybody goes through this. Some things we just can't fix. We're just wasting precious time. So if you're gonna leave me now, tell me, is it worth the pain? Tell me, do your tears fall like rain? If we're going through with this, could we settle for one last kiss? Honey, I saw it coming, but that don't make it right. I knew this wouldn't happen, just didn't know it'd be tonight. Out of tune. It was at that moment he realized he was just slightly out of tune.
I don't think anybody cares.
Well, there it is.
There it went.
Final word. Well, I hope it gives you peace of mind. No, Perry, I don't blame you, but you can't blame me for thinking that love couldn't be that blind. Just thinking he's not even in here to defend himself.
He's still checking that bumper. I think he's replacing it.
Just let me hold you.
And that bumper.
In my arms. And it was all going so well until touch me with your gentle hands. Not to imply that Perry has gentle hands, but
they're soft.
One last moment, you're still my woman, and honey, I'm still your man. So if you're gonna leave me now, tell me, is it worth the pain? Tell me, do your tears fall like rain? If we're going through with this, could we settle for one last kiss? Honey, I saw it coming, but that don't make it right. I knew this wouldn't happen, just didn't know it'd be tonight. So darling, was it worth the wait? Did you ever even hesitate? How long had you made up your mind? Is there anything that you might miss? How can I go on after this? There's some things you just can't fix. I'm building tension. How am I doing? So if you're gonna leave me now, tell me, is it worth the pain? Things you can't see off camera.
I'm sorry.
And tell me, do your tears fall like rain? If we're going through with this, then could we settle for one last? Settle for one last kiss?
You need to stop this because I'm going to get blamed for all this, okay? So stop. Stop. Find the exit and go.
This is like a broken record. Honey, I saw it coming, but that don't make it right. I knew this. Sorry. I knew this would happen. Just didn't know it'd be tonight. I knew this would happen. Just didn't know it'd be tonight.
Oh, man. Oh, that's it. That's it. That was beautiful.
Perry walked in and was like, he's still playing the song?
Oh, my gosh.
Hey, Ryan, you have timed out just right.
You have questions from your fans here. Hang on one second. Let's see what we got here. First of all, Gail said she'd rather hear you sing than talk.
I'm sure.
Yep.
Everybody would.
And she said, so for the rest of the night, we need you to just sing your answers. Let's see here. Leslie Foster.
Yes, I know Leslie.
She says, Ryan, I need to know if you've listened to Eric Church's The Snake on Desperate Man. I think that's a song that just does not fit his sound and love a lot of his stuff.
I have heard it. I'd have to listen to it again and see. Cause I've got the record. I'd have to listen to it again and kind of see if I agreed with that or not. Because generally, I think that he's pretty much on the money for what he does. Now, his first EP that he put out was probably the most unique thing in his catalog, which, of course, that's his first release, so that's, you know, that kind of is what it is. But it's not that it doesn't fit him. It's just it's a lot different. I really, his latest single, Monsters, because y'all, we want to talk about country, right? The first time I heard it and I heard the intro to the song, I was a little thrown off by it because it sounds a little strange until it actually kicks into the first verse, and I got it. But yeah, anyway, so there's my Eric Church.
Now, Jennifer Floyd Lindler, she came in with a question. I'm going to go ahead and put a twist on this real quick.
This is all of my people.
These are all your
tonight.
people watching right now
right.
because they're complaining. I wish the other two would just shut up and let Ryan just play songs. I mean, you know. I'm sorry.
More power to you.
Now, see, there should be good variety tonight. Though,
We'll
usually, in a 2-hour show, I'll get usually 4 songs.
You're going to get 3 out of this one. You're going to get 3. You're going to get 3. So figure out what your third one's going to be. But anyway, so Jennifer Floyd Lindler says, what song hits too close to home for y'all, which means all of us. So, and I'm going to spin that around. It's probably going to be, what's your theme song? You know, if there was going to be a movie made after you, what would the title credits? What would be playing under the title credits?
I got to think about that for a second.
So is this a two-parter?
Oh, I've thought about it my whole life. Movie of my life.
Her original question was, what song hits
home?
hard?
What song gets you in the feels?
Too hard. Like Too Hard?
Well, Too Hard, what do you mean? Is that a song? Is that a rapper?
Is that what she asked? Is just what hits you in the feels? Like
what song hits you in the feels? No. What song hits close to home?
Like too close to home?
Yeah.
The Spinners.
Uh-oh.
Could it be I'm Falling in Love?
Oh.
Thought you were going Rubber Band Man.
Could it be I'm falling
And I'm just going to
love?
leave it right there. You can all do your research.
Yeah.
But there's an important reason why that's just too big a thing for me moving forward. But yeah.
Mine's Watching the Wheels by John Lennon. I'm just sitting here watching the wheels go round and round. You're no longer hitting the big time, boy. You're no longer on the ball, so on and so forth. I've kind of, I used to be on the radio, but now I'm just sort of off I'm enjoying being behind the scenes now more than I ever did, and I think I'm having more fun making people, helping people succeed than I ever thought, because I like being on behind. How do I say this?
Enabling success.
Enabling, yes. I like to be an enabler of that. I would rather make you famous than be famous. You know what I mean? And I always said, in my 25 years of radio, I always said, everybody says, hey, you want to come judge our celebrity cook-off? Well, newsflash, celebrities have fame and fortune. Few people might know my name. Where's the damn money? Ryan, so what you got?
I was looking through my phone to see what I could.
Cheater.
There's a few. I'm thinking about what as far as what hits too close to home, like what actually, as far as like gets me in my feels. I will tell you that when my grandparents moved away from their home last year or year before, it's actually already been. See,
by the way, she's trying to make us cry. Not going to work. Not going to work.
Yeah, we're going to cry trying to remember. But. Yeah, we'll drink to that. The songs I play with, because they had lived there for just about my mom's whole life. My mom, my aunt, and my uncle. They were born in Kansas, then moved back to Arkansas when they were really young. And they lived in the same house their whole life and still had, a couple hundred acres, throughout. And then he sold most of it eventually. But they finally moved out and moved closer to where we are, just so, because they were out in Gravely, which, okay, yeah. You know where Gravely is?
No.
Exactly. No cell phone service.
Yeah.
Closest hospital is Danville, and that's about 35 miles. I mean, it's just not the right area to be in, and some neighbors, but the neighbors are like, you're talking quarter of a mile, half a mile apart. Because it's all farmers and stuff. It's beautiful land. It's almost like a Walt Disney kind of thing. That's the way I always looked at it as a kid, But when they moved out, as we were driving off and I walked through the house just one last time, I had a playlist on my phone. Because I guess I wanted to make myself cry. I don't know why. I had a playlist on my phone. It only had 2 songs on there. And it was Lyle Lovett, Step Inside This House, which is actually a Guy Clark song.
Yeah.
And The House That Built Me, which is, people know it by Miranda Lambert, but was actually written by Bobby Braddock, and the other guy's the one who I had the version of, and I got to look now. Hold, please.
I can't actually think of a song that's ever made me go boo-hoo. No offense. I'm not saying...
Well, and I will say another one, because I got to thinking about a couple of weeks ago on American Idol, they had Home Week, which everybody's at home, so now that's kind of ironic, but you had to sing a song that reminded you of home. And I thought about it for a second of what would I have sang had I made it that far, which, of course, we don't have to worry. But I mean, had to make it. Yes, thank you. That was actually really good.
Thank you.
A really good, what would that be?
Fake
Trombone?
Fake trombone.
Trombone.
It's a wah, 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 wah.
The Price is Right.
Yeah. Damn.
You ever know it's louder as it goes?
Perfect. Yeah.
It goes, it's almost like you're getting just absolutely
Good Lord.
ran over
you
by a
need to
train
ease
or
off
something.
the Diet Coke, man. Come on.
I know. What was I talking about? Oh, yeah.
Songs.
So the song.
Songs in the fields. You're leaving the family farmhouse.
Leaving the family farmhouse. But I thought about what song would I do if I had a song for Home Week, and it would be Southbound by Mac Mcanally. And that song actually does kind of make me tear up when I hear it every now and then. I do want at my funeral. Do we want to get into that next? Or
Sure. Funeral songs. Oh, wow. Here we go.
I'm
What
glad I
happy
got a
topic
box of red wine. Shit, we've already gotten here.
Red wine. That's one of the songs.
I would sing, but I haven't warmed up. And by haven't
Neither did
warmed
I.
up means I haven't learned how to sing. But anyway.
Well, me neither. And
Oh, come on.
I've already made a non-paying career out of it.
Okay.
I am self-unemployed.
Damn.
You keep, because I've got a zinger on this particular question about at our funeral. So you go first.
And that zinger may be something I've always asked, which was people always say, I want this song played at my funeral. It never happens.
No, you know why? No, I'm not gonna say it. It's a poor bad joke. Not gonna say it.
I honestly don't know for once where he's going with this. I can't guess. I sort of don't want to.
Yeah, I'm gonna just do myself a favor. I'm gonna reel that one back in. Okay.
But
right.
You know, I've thought about.
I don't want these 12 people pissed.
That's my people.
Yeah, those are your people anyway. I don't want those dozen Ryan Harmon fans coming to my house with torches and brimstone and just saying, "Bring the monster out! Bring the monster out!"
And see, this was my total complaint with this when they started these coronavirus regulations. No more than 10 people. They had to wait till I started drawing 12.
Right.
To where they said no more than 10 people. I'd have been fine. But now, I can't play unless you got to keep the other 2 people out. I would be one of them, I guess. So that's
Well, shit.
that's Perry's ultimate way of saying nobody cares, but I'll try to add something to it.
I care.
Jennifer Floyd Lindler says this too. I asked because Ryan's I Knew That Would Happen is my most favorite recent one, and I'll leave it at that.
Oh, well, thank you.
It's a wonderful
Thank
tune.
you so much. I appreciate that.
You got fans. Where are you from, Jennifer? Is she from your area? Is she?
I don't think so.
Or she one of your international fans?
No, she lives in the U.S. I'm trying to remember now. Where do I live? Who are these people? Where do these people live?
You live in Lamar by golly. Lamar by golly.
This is not my beautiful wife. This is
My beautiful house.
Off the air, perhaps I'll play y'all a song that a friend of mine wrote years ago that we could never play on the air for many reasons.
Well, for me,
yeah, go ahead.
Wait. Have you haven't even said this song you want played at your funeral?
Exactly, because I'm talking too much.
Yeah,
no, not answering the question.
It's a podcast. It's not about.
We're running out of time, man.
We're not talking too
Batteries
much.
are dying on the camera.
Happy hours. But, okay, so my funeral songs would be, if I had to pick some, it would be Someday by Blue Highway, which is a a cappella gospel song. Y'all probably haven't heard it, but it's really beautiful. I'm Not Gonna Miss You, Glenn Campbell, which that one, it sounds kind of odd because he wrote it about his, well, I say he wrote it. I don't know if he wrote it himself or if he had co-writers, but it was written about his Alzheimer's battle. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so that was kind of the point of the chorus, you know, I'm not going to miss you. And that was kind of the thing he was looking forward to, was the fact that he's not going to miss the people he loves. And that's, you know, kind of, you would have to hear the song to really get it. But
that's heavy.
Yeah, I don't know why, but it's really the first verse that I want played at my funeral, I guess. I'm still here, but yet I'm gone. I don't play guitar or sing my songs. They never defined who I am, the man who loves you till the end. That really, and we'll drink to that.
You're man.
That's some heavy shit.
I'll tell you something. You don't need to be planning that. You still got a good 60, 70, maybe even 80 years before you even got to worry about it.
Well, according to the episodes of My 600-Pound Life that I've watched, I'm probably a lot closer than I care to realize. Hello.
We'll be right back after these important messages.
With his current eating habits, we expect that he will not be able to survive much longer.
Dude, listen, no, it's fine. I've been this whole bullshit going on. I'm like, and I'm not saying this to brag. I'm saying the reason I'm saying this is that if I can do it, anybody can do it. I think I'm trending about 8 pounds lower on average than before all of this shit started. Yeah.
You drop some and I pick them up. Have you ever done any Rick Trevino? Who is Rick Trevino?
No, I know who Rick Trevino is, and actually my cousin went to see him in Texas a while back. Probably, well, I say a while back. It's been well over a year ago. So I'm not good with my timelines apparently tonight.
It's okay.
Yeah, Rick Trevino, he was a 90s country artist.
Yeah. You spike it?
There is Coke. There is Coke in it.
Ah.
Driving that train, driving diet cocaine. Drinking diet cocaine.
But to answer the question, what was it?
It just says, have you ever done any Rick Trevino?
Oh, no.
Sounds like a brand of marijuana. Hey, I got the best. Hey, man, I got the best. I got the finest Rick Trevino you'll ever have in your life, man. It's only $25 a bag. Come get you some.
Rick Trevino was 90s country.
I thought
he did have a couple of hits.
I thought he was on Saturday Night Fever.
I hate to say this. I like to think I know what's going on, but he sounds like, is that a professional golfer?
He's really well known in Texas.
Okay.
He's one of those guys that really has, like, you know, kind of Tracy Bird, Mark Chestnut, has a big Texas following.
Okay.
Rick Trevino's great.
I think I'm almost all caught up on the But nobody's had the guts to call in. 514-4646. 501-514-4646. If you would like to call in and be on the show.
And while you're on the phone,
I don't blame you
your
if you don't.
services with Sharpe Videography.
I don't blame you if you don't. I mean, really, we're just offering the opportunity
Way to sell it.
to speak. I mean,
What the hell?
Frankly, if you don't want to call in, it's fine.
Just following your
I'll just talk to you guys.
Right.
This is why I'm not in talk radio.
Oh,
This is why.
I think we've done a fine job.
Here's Bon Jovi on Magic 105.
What song?
Oh, yeah.
I've only had to pee once.
Runaway.
Exactly.
What? Sorry, back to you, Perry.
Oh,
Oh,
what?
yeah, sorry.
Was there a what?
Funeral song.
Hi, Angela's on me saying we didn't let you answer a question.
Oh, which is it the same? Are we back to the
What
what
would
do you
you-
want
What would you want played at your funeral?
at your
I guess?
funeral? Okay.
No, there was another question you didn't answer though. It was the.
Oh, the what gets your feels?
What-
You-
yeah,
you- no, he
oh, no,
answered
you
that.
did
He
answer-
answered that.
yeah,
He answered
okay, that's
I
right.
did.
My answer was just way too
I
long.
did.
Okay.
Yeah. It's could it be I'm falling in love? Could it be I'm falling in love by the Spinners? And we'll let everyone do their research there.
The funeral song was the one you haven't
The
answered.
funeral song. This is being recorded, right? Because
Yeah.
that means people will have to do this, right? I want it to start with the traditional, just instrumental, cheesy organ stuff that they always play in the funeral halls, right? Okay. And then when nobody's looking, it's going to go into this sort of lounge act stuff. And I've got it, and I need to record it, and I need to put it in a will and says this is what needs to go into. We need to go into this, and it's this lounge act Hammond organ version of not the Carpenters. We've only just begun. There's another song called We've Only Just Begun, and it's awesome. And yeah, it's going to go straight into that. It's not going to be any cheesy vocals or anything like that. It's going to go from your traditional weepy organ music into conga lounge act stuff.
You should
Basically,
just it's like I know you said no Carpenters, but it'd be funny as hell if you went. We've only just begun to live. Whoop-bum Gangnam Style. Oh God,
no. That's too heavy handed. As much as I think that would be awesome. How would you like your steak, sir? Gangnam Style. No, wait. Anyway,
Or if you had Alice Cooper, I love
wow,
you dead.
wow, wow.
Did you get your shirt from Sharpe? No, he did not. I don't own every Kiss shirt in the world, Randall.
Oh no, yeah, that's. We went to the same show though. Did you go see them in September, October? September.
I'm going to let everybody else enjoy Kiss live from this point out because I have a shirt from their farewell tour that I think is 20 years old.
20 years old.
That's right.
That Sharpe bought me.
Just past the 20. It was April 5th, 2000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm not, and that sounds really like harsh and bitter, probably because it is. But
You got to look Gene Simmons in the eye.
the
when
whole,
you say that.
Gene got his money.
Perry,
Thanks for the sale, Perry. I appreciate you.
Gene's not bitter. Sweet Connie's not bitter.
No, Sweet Connie's good.
Hi, I'm CC DeVille. Sometimes I sound like Sweet Connie. At first, it was the House of Horrors. Then it was a House of Horrors.
Oh my gosh. Anyway. Now before we wrap this up though, you wanted to go one more time into Prince, talking about Prince or anything at one point. You had one more thing to say about that?
I should get some money out of this, but this weekend there's a released, previously unseen, previously unreleased, full-length concert video from Prince and the Revolution from 1985, somewhere up in the Midwest. It was released this weekend. It's the whole thing. It was like right after the Purple Rain hit big and they were touring. The Prince Estate on the Prince channel on YouTube has released this. And I'm going to watch it either when I get home tonight or maybe tomorrow. Those of you Prince fans, if you haven't heard about it already, a little bit of Googling and YouTubing will allow you to find this and enjoy it.
Keep talking. This represents
He's going double
this
platinum.
actually represents me going to the what'd you say?
I said he's going double platinum.
Double platinum, triple platinum.
Triple. Oh, shit.
Triple platinum.
Damn.
We want to do another. Oh, you never. Oh,
Now,
you did answer it. I'm sorry.
There's been a little bit of. It's funny how spoiled we get as fans, not just as fans of Prince, but as fans of anything. In as soon as this was announced, people started carping about how this isn't what we want to see, and I'm hoping that's a very small representation, narrow representation of Prince fandom. I was like, why would we not want to see this? Like we're wanting to see something more exotic out of the vault, right? Right. My opinion on this is we're going to see that stuff eventually.
Oh yeah.
You know, that
especially since he can't really do anything, because that's been my thing with it is,
and that's where I'm going with this.
Okay.
You're with me on this, Ryan. Is as a hardcore Prince fan, I had some, I won't say I completely understand, but I have some understanding of where he was coming from on some of this stuff that was in the vault, that he may have made a conscious decision that this isn't what I want to be released, to be out for whatever reason. Okay. Or he could have just been hoarding it, and the intention could have been he was going to release it later, sort of a retirement account, if you will. Sidebar, the man never wrote a will or had any sort of planning for his estate after that, which is really weird, and we can talk about that later. So I wonder about some of this stuff. Is this what he wanted us to see or what he wanted us to hear? I will have to admit that as a hardcore fan, I've been a little selfish about it. I've just been very interested in getting anything new that we haven't heard. Like right. There was the release Prince the Originals, which was demos of songs that he wrote for other artists or other bands, but it was the demo tracks where he was performing them, right? Track 1 and 2, worth the purchase price of the whole damn thing, okay? Track 1, Sex Shooter by Apollonia 6, but Prince is singing it. I mean, I just giggle every time I fucking hear it, okay? Track 2, Jungle Love, Morris Day and the Time, but it's Prince singing it. Now, your real fans know that the Time was Prince's baby, you know, Prince and Morris Day's baby, okay? But still, you could tell it's the same tracks, it's all that, but it just happens to be Prince singing it during, you know, and it blurs the line between demos and release tracks on some of that stuff. But it's so some of the stuff we're going to start seeing and hearing is we're going to have the hardcore Prince fans are asking ourselves, did Prince want us to see this and hear this? But I'll have to admit I'm being selfish, and I want to see and hear whatever I can get. Right. On that.
And I understand from an artist standpoint, especially, you want to be in control of your material. And if you don't think that's something, because that was his thing. Did you ever watch the Larry King interview?
Yes.
It's actually a really good interview.
Yeah.
He explained, a lot of these songs are things that are unfinished. It's not the vision I had for the songs. It's just something that I kind of did a rough mix of it, and I wanted to put that to the side and come back to it later. Now I'm not being given that option. Mm-hmm. But the thing where I disagreed with him was he blamed the people who would buy the bootleg records. Because there were a lot, especially back in the 70s, 80s, there were bootleg records that looked like official releases, and people didn't know. They just go into the record store and, oh, there it is. Okay,
if
here's
it was
a new Bob Dylan record
for
or
purchase.
Something. Yeah, it's just like when Neil Young. There's a video of Neil Young on YouTube walking into a record store, and he finds these CSNY bootleg live shows, and they're actually they look professional. They're pressed really well, and he just looks at the poor kid who's behind the counter. He goes, "Hey, when did these records come in? Where are these from? Hey, buddy, do you know anything about these?" "Oh, no, that's what it is." "Were these officially released by the artist?" "I don't know." "Well, they weren't. I am the artist. This is my music. I'm taking this, okay?" And the kid's like, I don't know who you... I mean, my boss isn't really going to want you to just take records, because it's like 4 records or something.
Yeah.
But I understand that, but there is kind of that part of... You can't necessarily blame the people buying the records, because they really want the music. It's just... I'll drop a name. I interviewed Bobby Barth from Axe, years ago when I was 11. So it was not a good interview. But he was really nice to me. He actually came on my show twice. He was a lot nicer than he should have been.
Was this when Axe was playing movie theaters and stuff? They were
No, but he was still sanctioning that group. He still owned the rights to it. So he was still, it had his seal of approval. The reason he did not tour with Axe at that time, he had the gig with Blackfoot. And he thought that Bob Harris, who used to sing for Frank Zappa, fit Axe better. He did not have any, and still doesn't have confidence in his own voice. I wish he would change his mind about that. But he told me the reason why he didn't even, on the last few Axe records, didn't even sing many of the songs, even though he wrote all of them, is because he hates to engineer his own vocals. And so he just hired another singer to come in because he hates doing his own vocals. But
so did Milli Vanilli.
Exactly. Well, there you go. But he actually told me, there are bootleg copies of our records. He said, I've probably autographed 1,000 bootleg copies of Axe records, but I can't blame the people for wanting them. We haven't put that out there. Nobody else has. I can't blame people for wanting that and going to get it.
It's a complicated question.
Exactly. Now, he did blame the people who put them out.
Well, that's fair. Yeah.
All right. Well, we're about to wrap this up. I think we're good to go. I think let's wrap it up with some rapid fire kind of stuff like that. I like that. I'm not going to ask you the questions. What we're going to do is we're going to do ask anything. Ask anybody anything. So you have one question that you can ask either Perry or myself. One question all the way around the table. And who wants to go first?
Not me.
Yeah, I think you ought to go first. Yeah. I want to get an idea of what direction.
Throw us a question.
Yeah. This is your show, so
throw us a question.
Set the direction.
All right,
don't
Perry.
throw us softballs.
Perry Morris.
Throw me a hard ball.
Perry Morris.
Throw me a hard ball.
And make it big. Wham.
My wife laughing about what you don't know about Perry makes that even funnier.
Oh no, I've heard.
Okay.
I have heard about his dancing skills.
His anaconda don't.
It's not.
His anaconda don't.
All of that.
Is that what you were talking about?
Oh, I heard you broke a boat windshield with it once.
It's mostly bullshit. That story from Bob Deaton gets worse every time he tells it, and it's not true. It's not true. It's a physical impossibility.
That was going to be my question.
It is a physical impossibility that an erect penis would dent aluminum. Okay. It's just not going to work. It's just not going to work. And we don't. And we don't have time.
I lost my fan base.
We don't have time for that story tonight.
Next show,
maybe on his next podcast.
Oh, look, the phone's ringing now.
Yeah.
Nobody's ringing. Nobody wants in on this action. Nobody.
Story of my fucking life.
514-4646. This is your last call. Wherever I'm looking.
This is last call.
This is your last call to come in and be on this show if you want to talk. So 501-514-4646.
So you had a question.
Is it true? That was the question.
No.
My stage name is Girth Brooks.
So what would be the Chris Gaines?
Let's just make this real simple.
My stage name, Chris Gaines' stage name for me. I'm boinking Trisha Yearwood. That's it.
You cannot repeat, and you cannot repeat the questions. You ready? You cannot repeat the questions.
Okay.
All right.
So I'm just going to ask you something simple. You're stranded on a deserted island. You have a record player and one record that you can take with you. What is it?
Oh, damn.
One. Rest of your life. This is the only thing you're going to listen to for the rest of your life.
Purple Rain, the deluxe edition, which includes the 11 and something minute long Hallway Speech version of Computer Blue.
Okay.
It will change your life if you're a Prince fan. I'm not shitting you. You need to go check out the deluxe edition. I'm serious. There's stuff that's on there that if you've watched the movie several times, you're like, where's that song? What is that little ditty coming from? Get the deluxe edition of Purple Rain. Seriously, if you're a Prince fan, it'll change your life.
Okay. Your turn. You answer the question, so you can ask anybody.
Can I fry a barbecued rib in a skillet, Sharpe Dunaway?
You taught me how. Hey, what are you talking about?
All right.
Right?
I've not had your cooking. I have no idea. I do admire your recipes, though. I will see where
I'm trying, and I need to do a better. I feel like I need to do a better job of putting those together and making those more accessible, because I do enjoy cooking, and I enjoy my cooking, and other people have enjoyed my cooking. So hopefully, I need to do a better job of expressing that to some degree that people could follow it. Right? Yeah. Thank you.
Ryan, you're up.
Okay, so this is, I'm totally probably going to break the rules here because
Break
this
the
is
rules.
it's a rapid fire
Rules?
question that probably has too long of an answer.
It doesn't matter.
This is my problem.
But how thick is it?
As a brick. Jethro Tull.
Yes.
Na, 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 na.
In sad news, Ian Anderson was diagnosed.
I was
with
going to say that with Aqualung.
yeah, with Aqualung.
Yeah.
Are you kidding? Is it called
Pneumonia.
Aqualung?
That's what
Pneumonia.
it's called. That's the nickname for it, I guess.
He got diagnosed with something he wrote a song about years ago. Wow.
At least he wasn't accused of sitting on a park bench
You.
eyeing little girls with bad intent.
Well,
Anyway, that wasn't the question.
snot was running down his nose. Greasy fingers smearing shabby clothes.
So my question for Perry, what's your favorite Jethro Tull line? No. So
I'll put a $5 bill out. He couldn't pull out a Jethro Tull line right now.
that's the
And
only.
he would not be wrong.
No, the same thing goes for me. I know, two songs. One I can quote, the other, no. So
I had the opportunity to see. I'll make this short. I had the opportunity to see Jethro Tull or Pearl Jam on the same night. Jethro Tull was playing at Robinson Auditorium. Pearl Jam was playing at Barton Coliseum. I chose Jethro Tull. I win.
There you go.
I win.
well, and you can still see Pearl Jam.
I saw Pearl
when
Jam.
they decide
I
to
saw
tour.
Pearl Jam like 15 years later. I win.
There you go. You got both.
I still win. Actually, Jethro Tull won again 15 years prior. So there we go.
So you're the reason they won the Grammy.
Who
not
the hell is
Metallica.
Jethro Tull? Yeah.
He's my favorite.
Yeah.
I like Jethro's, just that Tull part.
All right. Go ahead. Break the rules, Ryan.
So, in your time when you were working with Magic 105, even when you weren't on the air,
Fairly brief, but yes.
so since you were not necessarily, you didn't hold the same responsibilities that like an on-air personality would have as far as how to represent the station, we'll say.
Define responsibility.
Now that's a good caveat.
I didn't have much responsibility on Magic. I mean,
That's
but
I'll
I'll let you ask the
yeah.
question.
That's, but I'm saying like as opposed to Sharpe would probably be expected to, at an event to represent the station in a certain way, especially if he's doing a remote in the truck or something. What is the craziest thing that you got away with in that time that you can say on the air?
On the air? We're not really on the air.
Let me think about
10
this. For a second.
viewers.
There's, the concept of official responsibility with KMJX for me is
Conway Little Rock.
almost non-existent. Okay. Now, having said that, let me think about this. We were fairly well behaved in Cleveland when we went to the Rock
On
Hall.
the air.
On the air, and even off the air. I traded shirts with a gal when me and Sharpe were at a restaurant called Dick's Last Resort in Cleveland, Ohio, in official capacity to celebrate Magic 105's anniversary up there. And we were broadcasting from the studio at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. We ended up at Dick's Last Resort. Some of these Dick's Last Resorts, if you're not familiar with them, everybody's they're all supposed to be cranky or the customer's always wrong or
Okay,
whatever.
I know what you're talking about.
Right. I've been to several of those, and they're very watered down, except for the one at Cleveland. They did not phone it in. It was the real deal Holyfield. And it was hilarious, and we ended up drinking, and we ended up running into some sort of party of some sort that was on some sort of party bus. And
I forgot all about that.
this lady wanted my shirt, and I was like, well, what? I can't just give you the shirt on my back. I want everything you wear. And she said, I'll give you mine. She was wearing this this skin tight leopard print something or other. And I had just enough booze that I thought that was a good idea. And we were like in the dining room there, and we trade these shirts out. And then we go to the corner of Dick's Last Resort where they're selling T-shirts and stuff. We both go there, and I was like, "Hi, I would like to buy a T-shirt." And now, mind you, I'm looking like, I don't know, like CeCe DeVille on crack or something. It was bad. It was a skin tight leopard thing. It was weird. And he looks at me. He's like, yeah. Yeah, it was.
What, you don't want to come in?
Why? Why? You don't want to come in? Wait.
Man.
We only got one color. Yeah.
Well,
we're just going to leave it at that. Yeah. Yeah.
My answer, I can try. I'll make it as brief as possible. You get a snack. The before the Janet Jackson crap. Okay, and everybody says it wasn't Janet Jackson's fault. Bullshit. Okay, I got news for you. That spurred almost everything. Got everybody locked down. Got everybody all tight with their. Back in the day. I love hearing what, and I hope I don't speak for Tommy Smith, but one of the things Tommy Smith said that I thought was like brilliant. He got called to the corner office. This is how he got fired. He got called to the corner office because the general manager from Houston or whatever like that flew into town, heard him say pussy on the radio. And newsflash, pussy's not one of the 7 dirty words.
Right.
Okay, so.
But post Janet Jackson tit.
Right. It
Super
becomes
Bowl,
a little more,
everybody's on edge.
And post Johnny Fever Booger.
And he says,
Booger.
The guy's name is Dumps. That's all I remember. I'll throw his name out. I don't give a shit. but he said, I want you to stop saying pussy on the radio. And Tommy said, I've been saying pussy on the radio for 30 years. I'm not going to stop. Blah, blah, blah. And he goes, well, then I guess you don't work here anymore. And then Tommy just walked out the door, and that was it. And then he turned up on the buzz. Well, what I thought was funny was Tommy looked at me and said, Sharpe, I wasn't pissed off that he fired me. I was pissed off that I got fired by some motherfucker that wasn't even wearing socks. It's brilliant. But to answer, but those are back in the days. Now you want to rewind just a little bit more to about 2000. And Uncle Howie, if you're listening right now,
oh yes,
you should be on this call right now. We did what looked great on paper, the biggest tits contest. And it was wonderful. I mean, we just sat there and said, hey, come on out here. Just, this is when to get away with murder. This is before the Janet, but
how was I not there?
Pre-G? You didn't miss shit. So hold on a second. So
maybe I had reasoned this out and stayed home.
So we got to the point where we had these ladies come. And what's funny, some people brought their kids. And I'm sitting there going, like, oh, this is not the way I planned it. So I run back in there. And
not a family show.
And I looked at the promotions director and I said, I need Frisbees now. And they give me some Magic 105 Frisbees. And I was like, here, take these Frisbees, kids. Now go around the corner and play Frisbee. That would be great. So what we did was, and I'm not proud of this. I did it. You asked me the question. I'm going to answer you honestly. Thank you, Bud Light Platinum. What we did
triple platinum.
Boom, 6%. But what we did was we had the girls. They took off their tops and completely off, and we measured from right here across the nipple to the collarbone, and whoever had the most area won.
Don't you have to have a protractor?
So what if? Wait a minute. So what if they had like what if their bra size was like a 48 long?
Oh my God, it counted. Like I said, the whole idea sounded great on paper. It sounded great on paper, but it was like
as the science officer on this boat, I have to say your methodology was flawed.
It was flawed, crazy.
How many of these stories did you find out about after he got home,
rather than before?
She was there. Shit.
Yeah. But yeah, we did that. Then we did I could do a whole show on that. I did Hillbilly had a
vasectomy on the air.
Had a vasectomy on the radio. Oh my God. But yeah, there's so many stories. I could answer that question on a whole different episode. I did a lot of stupid shit.
I'll make you do that sometime.
Feel free. We should come in here and let you just interview me.
I like that. And that can be the first episode of Ryan Harmon's Country Fried Conversations.
What is that the name of the show? Country Fried Conversations?
What? Huh?
Country Fried Conversations?
He did not just say that.
What?
What? Huh? What?
I promised Gail you'd do one more song.
Oh, okay.
So go ahead and grab your guitar.
Nobody asked me a question.
Oh, nobody asked him a question?
What? Because nobody cares. I've talked enough for all three of us in 5 minutes.
All right. What's the most shocking thing Ryan Harmon could say that we don't know about Ryan Harmon? What's the most
surprising?
Surprising. What's the most surprising, little known fact about Ryan Harmon What year did you lose your virginity?
Please tell me it's about
What
you
year
and
is it
Katy
right now?
Perry.
What year did you lose your virginity? Mom, pay attention.
What is this, 2020? Shooting for 2021.
Perry,
With Katy Perry.
After marriage.
let's go ahead and
With
set up
Katy Perry.
Let's set up his GoFundMe account.
You can do it. Wait, no. Whoa.
Seriously.
Fund, wrong F word.
That's what the marketing people. That's what the marketing people would say is off message. Okay, so I'm going to give you the Heisman on that one. That's a sports reference, by the way. Did I get it right? Because I'm not into the sports anyway. And so I'm going to do a hee-haw. Wait, I'm going to do a hee-haw. I'm going to do. Here's Ryan Harmon.
Hey, Perry, did you ever hear the one about the pencil?
No, sir. What about the pencil?
Well, there's really no point to it. I messed up that joke. It's supposed to be double pencil.
I'm going to do a Grandpa Jones.
Hey, Ryan, you hear the one about the watermelon? It was pitiful.
You know how he used to do that?
That is very close to. So,
It's like barbed wire on a gum stump.
I'm my own grandpa. So, if you remember this, it's been a couple months ago already. That sounds really close to when we were having a conversation about, and I think it was our friend Aaron that brought it up, of Dave Matthews tribute bands sell out rooms.
That was me. I almost killed you that night.
Yes, and the theory was, so there's a Dave Matthews tribute band. They're huge. What if there was a Dave Matthews tribute band? What would that be? And your response was,
I'd had a few beers and I'd said, that's like the second derivative of a function or something like that. It's a math joke. And it's like, it'd be one guy on stage going, and I killed Ryan Harmon for like 45 minutes. He couldn't breathe. I thought we were going to have to call 911. And I didn't mean to do that. I didn't think it was going to be that funny. Well, I thought it was kind of nerdy.
Forgive my language. His direct quote was, and you had a drink in your hand when you were saying it. You said, and probably one guy's standing on stage with an acoustic guitar and a cigarette up his ass going, yeah.
For those of you that missed that word, the word was ass.
Now, here's my question. Why did the cigarette have to be?
Do you know why? Because I was drunk. That's why. I was drunk at TC's.
That needs to be my
mom got out of prison.
Yep.
By the way, TC's Midtown Grill, by the way, if those of you that are watching, wherever you're watching,
it's open.
It's open
right now.
We might sneak over there after this.
You never know what might happen at TC's Midtown Grill in Conway. Attention, members and guests, bring your ass.
TC's Midtown Grill.
It's the shit. And now, Ryan Harmon.
Play us something pretty, Ryan Harmon. Oh, it's tuning.
That's metal as fuck, dude.
I'm gonna play something that I was working on yesterday. We'll see how this works.
More brand new stuff.
This is gonna be. Oh no, it's not my song.
So you got to play your stuff for this, otherwise I get dinged for the podcasting.
Oh, do you really?
Yeah.
Oh crap.
Hate to say it, they dinged us for Hard Luck Woman on the last show.
Really?
Yeah.
I guess we just did it well enough that
it sounded just like Peter Criss.
Yes, it did, because neither one of us are in the band either.
Right.
Didn't they realize Chris Gaines covered that was anyway.
That was the birth of Chris Gaines. Yeah. So I had to play one of my songs. Well, I'll play your favorite.
Your friend Jennifer Floyd Lindler wants to do tip jar money for a hooker.
I don't need a hooker. I'm good.
What?
I can buy my own
5 minutes.
hooker.
We gotta hurry up. We're running out of battery.
There's another song from the new record. This is, or the new record that doesn't exist yet. This was one of Sharpe's favorites.
You're gonna play us out is what you're gonna do. Go ahead.
Oh, great. This is a song called Back Where It All Began. I never was a drinker, or a lover, or a fighter when I picked up my very first guitar. But That straight edge boy became a man the night I first took that waitress to that black couch in the green room of the bar. Sponsored by TC. And it was all downhill to everyone but me. I wasn't born for raising hell, but it was part of my destiny. Cut my teeth on songs and strings with just a guitar for a band. Wore a hole in this hardwood floor so you know just where I'd stand. Yeah, those dues are paid, but I'd pay them all again. If I could just go back to where it all began. It's all about the guts and the glory and the whiskey when you're breaking hearts and brand new guitar strings. It ain't the money and it ain't the fame, only the marquee knows your name. But it's the first step on the way to neon dream. Years went by and Tommy sold the bar. They put in a dozen flat screens out of yours to my guitar. I cut my teeth on songs and strings with just a guitar for a band. Wore a hole in this hardwood floor so you know just where I'd stand. Yeah, those dues are paid, but I'd pay them all again. If I could just go back to where it all began. Now the times have changed, too much to ignore. That old honky tonk is just in there. It's coming on my accent. I ain't never heard nobody talk like this before. Sure, cut my teeth on the strings, guitar for a band. Whoa, this hardwood floor, so you know just where I'd stand. Wham, make it big. It's a long, hard road, I don't know where it ends. People let down. Protect the not so innocent. Yeah, those dues are paid, but I pay them all again. If I could just go back to where it all began. Where it all began.
Yeah! Great stuff. Great stuff.
Thank you.